Hello everyone, this is Maureen and welcome back to another day of praying through the darkness. Our topic today is, well, let me just put it to you this way. Do you know someone that you would classify as being tender-hearted? You know, someone who understands and shows kindness rather than pity. Who is willing to show compassion, mercy, just like we've been shown. You know, Jesus was the epitome of being tender-hearted. Because stop and think about this. Every time he saw a need, what did he do? He acted on it, didn't he? When he ran across the blind man, what did he do? He took some clay, molded it, fixed it how he wanted it just right, placed it on his eyes, and told him what to do. And what happened? He was able to see. Think about the young woman at the well, someone who has been ridiculed for her lifestyle, who was really just what you would call a pariah in her community. But that's not what Jesus saw. Jesus saw a woman who was trying to survive, quite literally, and instead of ridiculing her for her lifestyle, he gave her something more precious than anything. He explained to her that, this water here in the well is going to quench your thirst. It's going to clean your body. But what I have to offer you is living water. Water in which your soul is never going to be thirsty again. Water that is going to clean your soul from the filth, the dirt, the sin that this world covers you in at this moment. He recognized the touch of the hem of his robe from the woman who was so unhealthy, unclean, that she had the faith to believe and understand that if I could just touch his robe, not his hand, not receive a kiss on my cheek from him, but if I could just touch his robe, I'll be clean. Jesus immediately felt that energy, and rather than yelling at her and ridiculing her, for thinking that, how dare that you touch I, he turned and said to her, because you believed, you're already clean. And he wasn't just talking about her physical body, folks. He was talking about the inside, her soul, her heart. Think about the young man on the cross, the one who recognized exactly who Jesus was and asked him to remember him. He already knew. He knew there was a heaven and a hell, and he knew exactly where he was going. I mean, he knew what he had done, and he knew why he was being punished. But he saw in Jesus exactly who he was. He acknowledged who he was. And because of that, even hanging there on the cross in the last few hours, maybe even moments, Jesus turned and looked at him, and with all the compassion he could still muster, he said, know that this day you will be with me in paradise. So I tell you all that to just ask this question again. Do you know of someone, maybe you are yourself and don't realize it, who is compassionate towards others and act on it? It's one thing for us to feel emotions, to be empathetic towards someone's situation, but empathy is just one part of being tenderhearted. Tenderhearted is being the reaction of being empathetic towards someone. So when we ourselves are being a tender-hearted person, not only are we seeing a need for someone in a particular situation, but we are willing to act. We are willing to show compassion and mercy. We are willing to step in and to help find a solution. So, you may sit back here for just a moment and sit and think to yourself, you know what? That describes me. Now, it may not describe you all the time, but have you ever, even just one time, seen someone down on their luck and, offered to buy them a meal, offered to put them up in a hotel, offered to take that person that's hitchhiking? Because, folks, let me tell you something. I'm going to digress here for just a moment. My older brother, when he went off to college, again, just like myself, was a young man raised out at the children's home. So for many of us, when we went off to college, we didn't have a vehicle. We didn't have modes of transportation. So we relied many times on our friends that were going certain places. Hey, if you're going down south, if you're going close to this town, could you just drop me off and I'll find a way to get home from there? That kind of thing. My brother, now this wasn't until many years later that he admitted to Mom that many times when he came home, he hitchhiked the whole way home. I'm not kidding you. My mother about flipped out, but through the compassion, the tenderheartedness of so many people that saw my brother on the highway with his little thumb out, backpack or duffel bag, whatever it was he had that he was bringing home with him for that particular visit, took pity on him, if that's the word you like to use, and would pick him up, take him to, as far as they were going. Joe would thank them, get off, start walking again till he could find the next kind person. Little acts like that. Just any time in which you are willing to see someone in trouble and offer aid. Offer, even if nothing else, just to sit down and talk to them. Many times, that's all any of us need. Maybe we're struggling with a problem. Maybe we're having a bad day. When someone else sees that, rather than just, walking on by like so many did with the gentleman that got beaten up, and the Good Samaritan finally comes along and takes care of him. In fact, that was a tender-hearted person. That was someone who saw a need and was willing to pick that person up, take them somewhere, get them the aid that they needed, and made sure that there was enough coin left that they could stay there and rest and get well. And was even willing to come back by and check on that person. Folks, that is tender-heartedness in action. So, how many times have you been tender-hearted? I know, folks, that's, for many of us that are mothers, we can relate. I mean, we especially don't want our kids to suffer. We especially don't want our kids to ever go through some of the things that we have. So, tenderheartedness for us as mothers, fathers, grandparents, whoever the caregiver is. I'm going to sneeze here in a minute, so yeah. Anyway, but we should always be willing to be tender-hearted. Don't you think? I mean, I believe that rather than ridicule, folks because they're down on their luck, let's show compassion. Let's be loving and kind-hearted, just as Christ has always been with us. Our Heavenly Father has always been with us. In fact, in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32, be kind to each other, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as God through Christ has forgiven you. Now, folks, be kind to each other, forgiving one another. That's not a suggestion, not as far as I'm concerned. That is a commandment. Because if God can have compassion for me, show me mercy, and be tender-hearted to me, shouldn't I be that way with others? I think so, don't you? Father, in this harsh world, it takes practice to remain soft. So where my heart is prone to harden in defense, you have offered me a different way. When I represent your life, Jesus, it is not done with harsh speeches or cold distance. You were always approachable, ever near to the humble and the outcast. You didn't turn away from anyone who willingly sought you out. What then should I do? How should I live? As one who is quickly offended? I think not. Help me to be as forgiving to others as you have been to me. Help me to stay tender-hearted in relationships, offering kindness and mercy where I am tempted to bruise with my words. As I have been shown incredible compassion, help me to freely give away sympathy with a heart that is in tune with you. And where I lack the desire to do this, help me to draw from your endless supply. Loving God, you are better than any person I have ever known. So fill me with your heart of love that offers mercy freely. I want to look to you in love, so I offer you myself again. May your love overflow from my life. May your love overflow from my life, which means may the love that he gives to us, may we then turn around in example and show that love to others. So practice more being tender-hearted rather than scoffing and scolding one another. I believe that our world, if we start right here with our family, with our friends, with our community, just like a pebble that's dropped into the water, those ripples, as they increase and move outward, is enough to change the world. What do you think? Thank you so much, as always, for joining me each day as I offer up these devotionals to you that come to you from this little blue book that's put out by Broad Street Publishers. Now, as always, you'll find a link for it down in the description box, so go and pick up a copy for yourself if you've enjoyed these devotionals, because folks, it will be a great little book to add to your devotional library that you can pull out, search for maybe a word or a verse that is speaking to your heart in any situation. It also makes a great gift, and like I've been telling you, Christmas is just around the corner, so think about picking up one and sticking it in a stocking or offering it up as a present for someone special. If this was your first time here, let me say thank you to you as well. I do hope that on your way out that you'll hit that subscribe button and look for the bell with those cute little hugs on the side, because it'll let you know every time I upload content, especially if you are looking for daily words of encouragement. Now, as a little side note, I do want to apologize. There's been something going on with my recording program, so I do know that there's been a couple of devotionals that have not been offered up to you, but I do hope to get those rectified and slip them in somewhere, so be on the lookout for them. In a world where there is so much anger, hatred, and willingness to pull one another down, Be tenderhearted. Look for ways in which you can show God's love. In other words, let your light shine for Him. And remember, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.